We had big plans for this boat. It was going to become the ultimate adventure boat to take our family to Alaska. It was built for the Navy, all aluminum, and seemingly ready for whatever the ocean could throw at it. But this week was filled with bad news, followed by more bad news.
And there's not just one or two of them. There are hundreds of them, maybe thousands of them.
And honestly, it has us questioning whether or not this dream is ever going to become a reality.
You guys want real videos? This is real. As I started grinding it, it just went poof. That is wild. I got a quote on scrapping the boat. This hole is, dude. I think we bought a sinking boat. I think we bought an anchor. And now we're gonna need a really big ship to use this anchor.
We bought a sinking boat. Riley asked me to meet him up in the boat. He didn't sound very happy. What's going on down there?
Honestly?
I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know. Should I just go back in my office?
I have no idea.
Watch your head.
Yeah, I know. I've banged my head a few times.
What's going on?
No. Do you want to know? No. Do you need to know? Yeah. Like, Courtney, I don't know how thick this bottom is, but there are little pits and holes, especially right down the middle, all the way through this thing that are deep. Like,
just back here?
No, all the way through the front, up into the bow. The whole thing has lots of little pits and holes that are, I don't know, that deep.
I'm not saying anything because I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say either. I know enough about boats to know that you don't want holes in your boat. I don't know enough about aluminum corrosion to know what the best repair is, or if repair is even possible. And I think the thing I'm scared about right now is repair even possible? You're just kind of blinking your eyes, like.
I think I'm just thinking about the fact that, like, the whole reason we bought an aluminum boat over something else is that we thought that Riley would be able to fix anything that was wrong with it. But I don't think that either of us ever thought that that thing that would be wrong was that the whole boat was full of holes.
I don't even think we could have seen any of these when this boat was in Florida because the entire bottom was covered in a layer of dirt and grime and oil and stuff. It's because we sandblasted and pressure washed this whole thing, and now we can finally see the bottom of the boat to see this damage and these problems. The thing that first caught my eye was this plate right here. This is like a patch that was welded in, and I'm not really sure why. That's the first thing that caught my eye. And then I started looking closer, especially right here on this side. Let's go look up in the front of the boat. You know that like pit in your stomach feeling?
I want to say no, but yeah.
Can you see that? It's that deep. That's not a small hole, Courtney. And there's not just one or two of them. There are hundreds of them, maybe thousands of them.
I'm laughing because I don't know what else to do.
So that's why I wanted you to come out here, because it's got me questioning if we even do anything to this boat. Or if, I mean, I said it in the first video, a boat that doesn't run is still a boat, but a boat that doesn't float is an anchor. And all boats are sinking, some faster than others, but I don't want to be on a boat that's sinking fast. Now I want to show you something else I found.
What if I don't want to see it? Did I just say no?
Come with me. I noticed this spot right up here that's been exposed from sandblasting. Do you see how thick this layer of paint is? This like white layer?
Yeah.
Do you see all these little pits? Do you see this little hole?
Uh-huh.
I think somebody's already tried to repair this boat once by putting some kind of coating on it, on the whole outside. These are all filled with like, I don't know if it's Bondo or filler. And this also has little pits. I think the US Navy may have already repaired this boat once.
The reason we bought a boat instead of building a boat was so that we didn't have to build a boat. But now our boat that we bought isn't a boat?
and basically the whole thing needs to be rebuilt, which can be more work sometimes than just starting from the beginning. Look.
But we never would have seen any of this without sandblasting it.
Nope, all of this was covered. Inside and out. Like I don't even think Mike Florida Boatman knew about this.
Because the Navy tried to fix it. So it looked original.
So we do know that this boat went through a pretty extensive refit when those Evinrude E-Tech engines were put on. One of you guys watching this video, while this boat was at the sandblaster, emailed us saying that you knew the history of the boat and had been involved in this boat and warned me that he wasn't sure if it was number 3 or number 4, but one of the boats that was one of these RCB range control boats had corrosion issues and was taking on water.
And at first, I think we both shook it off, like, oh, maybe it's a different boat, or I don't know. We magic mapped it in our minds that it wasn't our boat, but now I'm like, I think that was our boat.
Then there's a reason that it was sitting in a boatyard in Florida for a decade.
We bought a sinking boat.
I think we bought a sinking boat. I think we bought an anchor. And now we're gonna need a really big ship to use this anchor.
We bought a sinking boat.
I'm usually a pretty positive thinker on projects, and I can see potential in places where a lot of people don't. I'm legitimately concerned about the viability of this project. If I'm gonna put my family on a boat on the ocean, that's a lot of responsibility on my part to ensure that everyone's safe. If the boat is literally getting eaten alive by corrosion, it's just not worth putting that kind of time, money, and effort into it. So that's why I'm standing here kind of freaking out, guys. I think the next step is I need to get a better idea of how widespread all this corrosion is, because the corrosion that I can see from the top might not be an accurate indicator of what the corrosion is like on the bottom, and it might be getting eaten away from both sides. So I'm gonna use this surface conditioning tool to try to remove some of the bottom paint in a few places on the bottom and get a better idea of how widespread the corrosion is on the outside of the hull.
Why are there holes up here?
Well, because that was below the waterline.
Why does the whole boat have... Do you get it? It's a dad joke.
Why does the whole boat have holes in it?
Why does the whole boat have holes?
The paint wasn't compromised. I had to grind that paint off, and the paint was over those holes.
Yeah.
They used some kind of really extreme paint and painted over everything. I'm trying to think if I've ever felt this way on a project before, where I just felt so uncertain about the future of the project, and I don't think I ever have. But thanks for not freaking out.
I'm not freaking out. So what are we gonna do right now?
Okay, this is called an ultrasonic thickness gauge that I don't remember how to use. Do you guys remember the big steel tower that we moved was it a year ago on the channel? I bought this ultrasonic thickness gauge so that we could figure out how much it weighed so we could make a plan on how to move it. And that's when we learned that it weighed way more than we thought, and we were gonna need a bigger truck. I think I need to read the instructions.
Oh.
Okay, ready? How thick is the side? 4.2 millimeters. I think that's 3/16 of an inch.
This is 4 millimeters thick, to give you guys perspective.
4.2. This spot doesn't have the paint on it.
Okay.
5.6 millimeters. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be 1/4 of an inch thick. Look at this little tiny punch. And I wanna see if any of these holes go all the way through, because like this one right here, I feel like this is corrosion from the other side. We're about to find out. Oh no, that's solid. I really don't even know why I'm doing this, but I have to know. For some reason in my head, that was just gonna like push right through, but it didn't. I don't really know what I'm even trying to figure out right now. You guys want real videos? This is real. This is real life. Man, I don't know. How bad is it? I'm gonna keep grinding paint away. I don't know. That's really not that bad. Yeah, that's really shallow.
What are you doing out here now?
Oh, I ground some more paint off. This pitting is all really shallow. She just leaves. There's this pit right here that looks pretty severe. And this isn't the best tool for measuring this. I need to get something with a sharper point on it. But even with as extreme as it looks, it's 45 thousandths, which would be 1/5 of the way through the hole. I don't want to pay to have the entire bottom of this boat sandblasted to then discover that we need to replace the entire bottom of this boat, because that would be really silly. 50 thousandths, 60 thousandths. That kind of makes me feel better, but also leaves me with a lot more questions. Right now I'm basically just going around and picking my way with a pick with my calipers to try to get a better understanding of how widespread the problem is. And are there just certain areas that are worse that we could cut out and replace, or are we replacing the entire bottom skin? There really aren't any right here. Huh. Is there a reason the pitting wouldn't be as bad on the bottom of the boat? It seems like there's something weird going on up here, and I'm wondering if it's electrical. I wonder if some of this is electrolysis from stray electricity in the marina wherever this thing was moored. Is that electrolysis? Bet there's somebody watching our video that can tell me just by looking at it. Whoa, and what is this? There's like a blister, a bubble, maybe a dent from below? I'm not sure. That is wild. This hole is that deep? That's thicker than the aluminum. I thought for sure that was gonna go all the way through, but it doesn't. How do we figure out the viability of the project? And at what point do we have to say that we need to pivot and this boat becomes someone else's project? I am mad that I didn't spend more time in Florida looking at it more closely.
I don't think you would have seen it.
I think, I don't, even if I had seen it, I don't think I would have acknowledged it.
We would have had to have a survey done.
Which we also talked about having done. And then we were like, but what would the results of the survey tell us? Oh, there's cracked welds. Well, you can fix cracked welds. We had all these conversations, but I never considered.
And
like,
I think even if you'd seen a little bit of pitting inside, we wouldn't have seen it on the outside till we got it sandblasted.
Right.
Or we're just complete idiots, which is totally
possible. Do we completely dry it and just go set it in the water and tie it to the barge for a week and see if...
I'm not comfortable taking this boat to Alaska. Like, even if it didn't leak for a month in our lake, that wouldn't make me comfortable. All we've done is make it less valuable.
Spend money and make it worth less. When we bought this boat, I even was giving it 50-50 that the engines were good. Mm-hmm. Then the engines were bad. Okay, boom, those are gone. Now the boat's worth less. Then I discovered the wiring was all bad. They made it sandblasted, and now we've discovered this new problem.
We just keep making the boat worth
less. I've never felt this way on a project. We can fix water coming in with pumps.
No, what if the pumps? No, he's kidding. We're not doing that.
I appreciate that you're not making it like it's my fault.
It's not your fault. We were it's not your fault. I almost feel emotionally attached to the boat. Like, this boat has history. It's part of American history. It's like our trucks. It's like the barge. Like, to just take it to the scrapyard
would be really sad. Come on, Boone. Come on, Bailey. Your breath does not smell like cat poop. This is Boone. He's 12. And this is Bailey. She's 10. Road trips, long nights, cold mornings, they've literally grown up alongside this channel. Most people don't realize that by age 3, 80% of dogs already have dental disease. And that's why we started using Better Wild. A lot of dental and joint issues actually start in the gut. So Better Wild focuses on strengthening your dog's digestive system, using science-backed prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics, including a proprietary blend of wolf probiotics. Their dental chews use ingredients like kelp, parsley, cranberries, green tea, and peppermint oil to help fight plaque and support healthier gums and fresher breath. And depending on your dog's needs, they also offer joint chews and allergy chews. For us, it's not about fixing what's broken, it's about keeping these guys healthy and thriving. If you want to check them out, head to the link below and make sure to use our code at checkout. It stacks on top of their subscription discounts, and it only works through our link. Thanks to Better Wild for supporting this channel and supporting Boone and Bailey. Hey Rodney, it's Riley Casey, the Navy barge guy. Now that it's been sandblasted, I've discovered more corrosion than I was expecting to see, and I was hoping to get someone who knows a lot more than me's opinion about it. Is there any way I could pay you to come over and take a look at it? Well, at least somebody's having a good day. Sure. You having a good day? Good morning. We're back at the shop, back on the boat project today. It's been a few days. It's been almost a week, I think, since we really even looked at this boat. It's been a rough week. It's been discouraging. It's been frustrating. I got a quote on scrapping the boat. Doesn't even come anywhere close to what we paid for it. So we've been feeling a little bummed, a little down about the project. What do they say about a boat? It's a hole that you throw money into or bust out another 1,000. But there's so much more to this boat than just money. Like, there's a story, there's a dream, there's a mission. Yesterday, a friend of mine called me up and he wanted to stop by because he had something for me. It's the lower portion of the Alaska Inside Passage, and this has been hanging up in his garage for decades, he said. It's always been a dream of his to take his boat on the Inside Passage, and now he's passing that dream on to us. Thank you so much for giving this map to us. I think this was the motivation that I needed to remind me that it's not just about the boat. There's an end goal, there's a dream, there's a story, there's history of this boat, there's so many people, and now we have the opportunity to repurpose, salvage, and reuse this boat. So over the past few days, I've gone from feeling like this project is over to excited again. So the plan for today is we're gonna start fixing this boat. I decided I'm gonna put it right here on the door into the office so that every time I go in there to say hi to Courtney, I'm reminded of what the mission and what the goal of this project is. You're wondering where this dream started. So if you guys haven't seen the video, last summer Courtney and I took a road trip in our RevCon RV where we left all our screens and technology at home and just went on an intentional family trip. And I think that was our worst performing video last year, but it was my personal favorite. That video is gonna stick in my brain forever. It was such a fun, intentional trip that we got to spend together, and the time that we spent together without our screens was so impactful to all of us. And that's the trip when this dream got kicked into overdrive. So we were down here, Gig Harbor, Hallsbow, where we saw all the pirates, up to Port Townsend. This is where I met Adel, who gave me her book and told me about her childhood memories of traveling. Took the ferry across over here to Whidbey Island, and then finally up to Anacortes before we went home. And when we were in this area and we could see all the boats and just I don't know, it was so exciting to us. And that's where we're gonna pick up the adventure as we head north. New tool day. I think there's gonna be a lot of new tool days on this project. A lot of stuff I've never done before. So these are aluminum cutting carbide burr tools that go in a die grinder. And the idea here is that I'm gonna be able to use these to grind out all of the compromised aluminum, and then I'm just gonna weld the holes up again. We'll start at one of the worst spots and see how it goes. So I don't want the strings of my sweatshirt on the hood to get wrapped up in the tool because I could suck the tool into my face. So the first thing I do on any sweatshirt that I'm gonna wear out in the shop is I cut the strings off. I don't really know what to expect. So let's see, am I on the right spot here? So if you can see, we've got shiny aluminum around the sides, and then we've still got that dull color right in the middle there. So if we welded it up like that right now, there'd be a pocket of corroded metal down in the middle, down in the inside, that could continue to grow and cause delamination of the aluminum. We need to get all of that rotten metal out, down all the way to shiny bare aluminum on the whole thing. It's kind of hard to control though. So I ended up taking more off in other spots. It's really hard to show you guys, but as I was doing that, the spot got teeny tiny, I ground a little more, and then the spot got bigger. There was literally a pocket inside the aluminum plate, underneath the surface. Use this razor blade as a little pointer. So now we've got kind of two areas of corrosion, one here and one right here. This one here just reappeared as I went. It disappeared and then it reappeared. I kind of got that whole little area where there was that really bad pocket, and I got everything in that area down to where there's no longer any corroded metal. It's all just shiny new metal. I do want to say though, once I figured out how to hold and brace this burr tool, this thing's amazing. That's so much better than some kind of little abrasive grinder or Dremel tool. If you ever need to grind out aluminum, Cut burr from Harbor Freight. They have two versions, one for ferrous metals and one for non-ferrous metals. So this is the aluminum version, the non-ferrous version. So I set the ruler across this, right there, just under 1/8 of an inch. So that corrosion right there went halfway through the hole before it stopped. So we have corrosion that is exactly the depth of half the hole. That seems really deep. I'm gonna grind out a few more spots and see what I find. Oh, it was like this little tiny hole. I could see just this little hole. It looked like someone had drilled a hole. As I started grinding it, it just went poof. And it opened up into this maybe somewhere between a BB and a pea sized crater. That just keeps growing. 3/16 of an inch, 188. So we only have 1/16 of an inch before we're all the way through the hole, which is this much. Dang. Okay, now I'm just using like a sanding wheel in the die grinder. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up the entire area to see if there's any major corrosion in this area that I missed. I think I could use a grinder with a flapper. I missed all kinds of spots. All the areas that I hit with the die grinder and got the deepest spots out. This was the worst one so far. Okay, so I used this flapper wheel a little bit on the grinder to clean this area up, and doing that exposed even more little corrosion pockets. So now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna grind out the rest of these. The problem that I keep finding is sometimes these little tiny pinholes turn into a whole crater underneath the surface of the aluminum. And that means I can't ignore even the smallest things. Like anywhere where I see pitted corrosion, I need to hit it with the grinder and make sure I've actually cleaned it out. Decided I'm just gonna focus on getting this little area prepped, and then we're gonna try to weld it. I was originally just gonna start grinding out and spend my day grinding out little craters, but I think I should probably just see what it's like to repair this little area before we move on. 50 little spots to re-weld in half a square foot. And since basically everything I just ground was like 1/8 of an inch or more, even all the way up to 3/16 of an inch, which is like 50% to 75% of the way through the hole. I honestly have no idea what to expect right now. I'm just gonna start right here. Dude, I can't get a puddle to start. You know what? I never checked the welder settings. Oh, there's the problem. I forgot to change the settings. It's like, dude, I'm giving it full power and nothing's happening. I had it set up for like super thin aluminum. There we go. It's definitely dirty. I could smell some like burning there towards the end. I don't really know what that was. I'm going to grab my aluminum brush. So I keep a special brush that I only use for aluminum. And it says aluminum, and it's scratched out, and it says, sorry. Guess I made a problem for future me at some point when I needed a brush. I think I have another one in here somewhere. Brand new brush. Whoa. It's like heating it up opened up a bunch more little pockets all the way around the area. I don't think those were there before. What I'm not certain about is if I'm getting good penetration, and is this actually watertight, or is it sort of just like a scab stuck on top, or is it fused in and watertight? I don't know. This area here now has new weld in it. Now, up to full thickness. Some of them were easy. Some of them were really hard. Some of them I'm not sure that I got good penetration, like and fusion. I don't know that my filler metal is actually well fused to the whole metal. And on some of them, like I could obviously tell that I was getting good fusion. And I think that all has to do with like the micro corrosion that I can't even see with my eyes. What's going on in between the layers of metal. Brush that out. I think that one worked fine, but it's been the better part of the afternoon and I've gotten half a square foot of this boat done. There are some fumes I'm concerned about. Like I'm smelling burning paint right now, which probably means that I burned through and I'm burning the paint on the bottom side of the hole. And that's one of my biggest concerns with this plan is I think for this plan to work, we're going to need to sandblast the entire bottom of the hole. Oh yeah, right here. Oh, it didn't smell that bad up in the boat, but it is noxious down here. I don't know if you guys can see it over there, but there's just like this cloud of smoke hanging in the shop. I'm gonna open the roll-up door, try to vent this place out. First things first is that the paint definitely burns, and then it just sort of falls off, which means that before I continue welding on this hole and fixing all these patches, first we need to get the entire bottom of the boat sandblasted. But when we were at the sandblasting shop, the reason that we didn't get it blasted before was it has some kind of layer of epoxy paint on it that is really, really difficult to remove. So when they were sandblasting, it was not coming off. And so we ended up deciding that because the paint was well bonded, we would just leave the bottom paint on, we'd scrape off everything that was loose, give it a quick sanding, and then we were gonna repaint a new layer of bottom paint on top of it. But now it means we're gonna have to get the entire bottom of this boat sandblasted and all of that epoxy paint removed. And I have no idea how long that's gonna take, but it's gonna take a long time. The other problem is that you can see some of the repairs I made from underneath. So like specifically these two, I actually blew through. I don't know if that's a lack of skill on my part or dirty aluminum or what, but something caused a pocket of air inside there to expand and push the aluminum out when it was in the molten state. And we blew through, which means that those two repairs really aren't any better than they were before, because now there's a crater on this side and I'm gonna have to come back and I'm gonna have to weld this side up too. Enough flying under a boat. My friend Rodney should be here any minute. Rodney is a local aluminum boat builder, like professionally. He builds boats for a living. He's built maybe 10 or so aluminum boats from scratch. I'm gonna see what Rodney has to say about this project. This paint all came off pretty easy. Right. This stuff was gnarly. And so I think actually almost more concerning than the outside is what I found on the inside now. One of our shop neighbors down the way used to work for a contractor building prototype military equipment, doing things like cutting the roofs off of Bradley tanks and then modifying them into other needs. So he's got a lot of experience in both aluminum fabricating and like cutting apart and modifying big aluminum things. He's gonna come over here and tell me what he thinks about our boat project and how to best go about fixing the bottom of this hole. The number of you that have reached out to us saying that either you've been on this boat or you know about this boat or you have other history or you know somebody that was on this boat, it's crazy how deep it seems like the history of this boat and where it's been. I've been absolutely blown away and shocked by how many of you seem to know so much about this boat. And so that's just part of why I think it's so important that we continue this journey and continue rebuilding this boat, is because there's a lot of history here. And I'm just hoping that somebody that I talk to has a new solution for me that I haven't already thought of. Okay, I just got off the phone with Brad up at Bayweld Boats, the guys we went and visited in Alaska. And Brad told me that he had a boat that looked almost just like this at one point. And he ended up cutting a strip out of either side of the keel. He went like 30 inches on either side of the keel. He cut a strip the whole way and then put a new strip in, because his cautionary tale to me is that if I go through and I start cutting all the bottom plate off this boat, that the whole shape of the boat is based off that bottom plate. And if I cut that free, the whole boat's gonna move and it's gonna be really hard to get it all back again, especially without the jig that they built this boat on. But if I can just replace the worst spot, like let's say 90% of the pits, if I could just replace that middle all the way through, that's gonna give me the peace of mind that it's not gonna start leaking. It's gonna fix 90% of the problem, and it's gonna be like 30% of the overall work. So Brad up at Bayweld, Rodney that just swung by, my friend Alex that works with boats for a living. Everyone around me has been telling me the same thing. And I think I just keep asking more people because I want the answer to be different. We've come to the conclusion that I need to cut out and replace the entire bottom of this boat. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Freedom of Information Act allows us to put in a request to try to get information from the US government about this boat and its past. So we filled out one of those reports, and then he just called me because he needed some follow-up information. And then he goes, yeah, it's interesting that this particular one fell in my lap because when I was on active duty, I served in those boats. I know what the range control boats are.